And now it's time for another edition of What Would Jello Do? While the Occupy sites are being broken up and bullied away by the police, and it seems to be coordinated all over the country, while we're supposed to be worrying about Mitt Romney, Herman Cain, Tim Tebow, or the Kardashians, who I don't even know who they are, sneaky stuff is going on behind our backs again. Yes, Obama gave a great rabble-rousing speech about the economy. Remember when we all thought that was who he really was? Great marketing. Anyway, meanwhile, behind our backs, get ready for this one. Senate Bill 1867, the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act, and hiding in there is an even worse law than Bush tried to put through, saying that anyone the government declares a member of or part of an Al-Qaeda or associated force, and keep in mind Clown Prince W said you're either with us or with the terrorists, which they could say about anybody who disagreed with him, which is plainly what he meant. Well, they can be held even if they're Americans arrested inside America, quote, without trial, without charges, until the end of hostilities authorized by the Authorization for Use of Military Force, which of course in the case of the war on terror, the perfect Orwellian war, it's never supposed to end. And so this may be an excuse too for all these poor people who've been in Guantanamo Bay for 10 years now, some of whom wound up there because they were kidnapped by Afghan or Pakistani warlords and sold to American troops desperate for anybody they could declare a terrorist. Well, maybe one of the reasons they don't want to try them at all is some of them have been in solitary so long and tortured so much they have gone clinically insane, and they don't want the world to see this. Now here's what really gets scary. The Senate approved this, not with some Republican filibuster twisting everybody's arm, but with a vote of 93-7. 93-7. People like Al Franken voted yes, Sherrod Brown voted yes, Barbara Boxer, John Kerry, Mark Udall, the New Mexico Udall, Harry Reid, who's one of the great villains of our economic collapse behind the scenes, Patrick Leahy, Carl Levin, whatever, they all voted yes to fascism, the kind of arbitrary arrests and detention without trial our ancestors fought the Nazis to stop in World War II. The only no's were Bernie Sanders in Vermont, the two senators, Wyden and Merkley from Oregon, Tom Harkin from Iowa, which is an interesting one, and three Tea Party lunatics who did it for libertarian reasons. Rand Paul, Tom Coburn from Oklahoma, and Lee from Utah. The House, I don't think has acted yet, but you know what's going to happen there. Obama apparently has threatened to veto this. Let's see if he finally has some spine. But if it already was approved 93-7, how far do we think this is going to go? This is where people like this are really at, apparently, when we're not looking. And also when we're not looking, the Food and Drug Administration has a doozy for us too. They have been holding hearings that they didn't want anybody to know about, not even health food stores, to reclassify dietary and herbal supplements as something you would have to pay a lot of money for and get with a prescription. They've tried this several times. You know, hey, let's be more like Norway, at least used to be, maybe still is. I was told this a long time ago that you even had to get vitamin B on a prescription and pay $60 because of all the little scamming going on. Clinton tried this to reclassify organic food as something that could be done with genetically modified, or shall I say genetically mutilated food. That would be okay. Fertilizing with chemical sludge was okay. Public outcry stopped it. 1994, Congress blocked exactly what they're trying to do now with a loophole. And here's the loophole. New dietary ingredients, as the FDA calls it, has to go through all these tests and whatnot. And the new dietary ingredients, they say, more of a certain ingredient or a slightly different way of extracting it or a different stage, saying fresh versus a fermented apple. A probiotic, if it's a different strain of bacteria than was in yogurt 17 years ago, you have to do all this as well. And everything has to be pulled off the market until it is proven safe, quote unquote, in the eyes of the FDA, which was easy for Vioxx or Halcyon or something like that because Big Pharma had the money. But then what they want people to do, of course, is use animal testing for 1,000 times the normal dose for a full year, which, yes, 250,000 grams of fish oil every day for a year might prove unsafe, and then they can ban it all or whatever. You have to go get a prescription from Big Pharma and a coin-operated doctor. And no two companies can use each other's data. Everybody has to run the old test, even if there's more than one, and if it's more than one ingredient, the tests just multiply. X times number of tests that you have to make. It would cost even a small progressive herbal supplement company that's helping us survive the chemical and pollutant onslaught of today's Chinese-dominated world and all the coal pollution and everything else. Well, that would cost about $4 to $7 million per item. In other words, all this stuff goes off the market. Big Pharma takes it over. What a scam. And it doesn't stop there because they are about to approve a new little tincture drug called Sativex made by GW Pharmaceuticals, a big shot based in the UK, that has THC in it. It's supposed to relieve spastic pain and other things that people use marijuana for now. Maybe another reason that the Obama administration is suddenly trying to wipe out medical marijuana as a favor to Big Pharma. After all, Michael Moore just reported that Wall Street, even now, has given Obama more money for 2012 election campaign than they've given all the Republican circus acts put together. That is their choice to maintain the iron grip and kleptocracy of the 1%. Pleasant dreams.